It's absurd how much I love Journey Spice. Journey Spice, non-GMO, no salt, no sugar, just all sorts of goodness and smart, environmentally friendly packaging. Pinch the top, take it off. Food tastes better. Comes in singles, 2-packs, and 4-packs. It's Journey Spice. Find them at Amazon.com. Time for Denver's best sports talk with the Altitude Daily.
This is the Altitude Daily Podcast. Everything you can't miss from today on Altitude Sports Radio. Mosher, Lombardi, and Kane.
If I may, we're in June, and I would like to start in a place that I don't know if we've started before.
I have a starting comment.
But I want to start somewhere.
Yeah, but I have an opening comment.
I don't want your opening comment.
I think we should all issue our opening comments and then move into the most fascinating of the opening comments.
No, I have the most fascinating. This isn't a debate. I know what it is.
But I think all of us have opening comments that we want to unveil, and then we take it from there.
I think your opening comment should be a secondary comment. Because I don't just want to talk about how the Rockies are 9-50. That's actually, we've done that. That's the part that kind of bores me. You know, the fun little off notes next to it, which is since May 4th or May 2nd, Scotty Scheffler has the same amount of wins that the Rockies do. Even that, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Here's what I think is really fascinating. For years, basically since I've stepped foot in this state, I've been told by people that the only way you're going to get change with the Rockies was by not showing up to Coors Field. And I always was like, it's not feasible. They're going to get 20-some thousand people there. If nothing else, it'll all be Phillies fans watching their team. Like, you just aren't going to have people not go to the game. Secondly, even if you did, the result will not be Dick Monfort selling the team. It'll be what happened with the A's, where they go, all right, fine, then I'm out of here. It was never a feasible concept to me. I'll tell you what is total and utter embarrassment. I think the best thing that could have happened to the Rockies if you wanted true change is this. It's being so bad and being made fun of not just by your own fans, by everybody in the country. That can instill change. Mm-hmm. I really think that this is like the people that wanted to start the boycott Coors Field thing. Mm-hmm. This is your best route.
Yeah. It can't just be local denigration. It's got to be national denigration.
Right.
It's got to be historic. And we are not only on the doorstep of history, we've opened it up. I mean, not since the advent. Listen to me. Listen. Watch my mouth. Not since the advent of baseball, the sport itself, in 1871, has a team in Major League Baseball started a season as badly as the Colorado Rockies. Did you just hear what I said? No team since the advent of the game in 1871 has lost 50 of its first 59 games.
The Altitude Daily. The morning sprint.
9-50.
This weekend felt a little bit different because I think us on Sports Talk Radio, we just did our best to just stay in our Avs and Nuggets playoff tunnel as long as we possibly could. And then even after...
You had your blinders on.
Yeah. That's not actually happening over there on Blake Street. It's not really happening over there. So you had your blinders on. And I think that yesterday's game in particular, there were two things at play. Are you going to either get to 10 wins by the month of June, or are you going to get to 50 losses by the month of June? And the other piece of it, are you going to get swept in 10 straight series or 10 series total, or are you going to get to 10 wins? Those comparisons are absolutely wild. Absolutely wild for a baseball team.
It's the worst start in modern Major League history, right? Modern era started in 1901 is the worst start in MLB history at 9-50. They are the third fastest team to 50 losses in the history of the sport, right? Even prior to the modern era of the MLB starting in 1901. They have now been swept in 50% of their series. 10 of 20 this year. They have lost a staggering 22 straight series. That is now an MLB record. They set it with their 21st consecutive series lost against Chicago. They extended to 22 against the Mets. They've got a decent chance to win a series against a bad Miami team coming up, and they start today, like 3 games set Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before they return home for 6 games against New York.
It's a bad
San
Miami
Francisco.
team. That's a bad Miami team whose win percentage is .404, and your win percentage is
It's so bad, man.
153. .153, Rush. .153. And so, yeah, the national narrative is switched. I don't know if you've noticed, people are starting to really catch wind of this Rockies thing that's happening. And it happened because ESPN and Fox Sports, they all put out there that Scotty Scheffler won more golf events in the month of May, or the same amount,
3 of his last 4 starts.
as the Rockies won games in the month of May.
Scheffler's a freak.
But think about
You want to talk about excellence?
Raj, you want to talk about how hard it is to win any golf event, let alone a major in the month of May? And the Rockies can't scrounge 4 or 5 baseball wins in an entire month? What are we doing?
The Altitude Daily. Polumbus, Hastings, and DMAC.
Cortland Sutton and Nik Bonitto. Okay. How important is it to get extensions done for these guys? What order would you rank them? What kind of priorities would you give both these guys here in the offseason?
You know, it feels like Nik Bonitto is the bigger priority, but I think I'd make him wait. And he's not going to like that because he's done a lot, man. I mean, he's got a pretty good case to want to be paid right this second. Before the season even begins, he's got a really good case. But the amount of money that has got to be paid for an elite pass rusher, dude, it's pretty astronomical. And if we're being honest, hey, as of now, you're a one-hit wonder. I mean, I'm not saying that you won't have success, but if I'm the team, the amount of money that's going to be required to give Nik Bonitto and make him happy with that new contract, I think I'd do my best to be like, hey, man, we love you. You're going to get it, but we need to wait. Cortland, to me, feels much more realistic because you could probably get Cortland Sutton done at, what, $25 million a year? And he's going to be happy with that, and that's a bargain in comparison to what other wide receivers are making.
You know, it's interesting because you had the report because you were out there at the old OTA, and I heard from other people, too, that Cortland was just like, if there was a star of the OTA, it was Cortland Sutton.
Well, he had the best catch of the day, for sure.
I guess we shouldn't be surprised by that, right?
He's the best wide receiver on the team.
Cort's great. He's got great chemistry with Bo. You didn't draft.
I mean, this
receiver.
time last year, Cortland Sutton was sitting out because he wanted a new contract.
Right.
He did not end up getting it. They gave him a little bump. They gave him kind of was that Chris Harris that got the one season bump? I feel like that was Chris Harris.
Chris got the raise for no reason, yeah.
Yeah, that's basically what Cortland Sutton got last year. It was not a ton of money, but it was enough to keep him happy.
Right.
This year, Cortland Sutton's taking the opposite approach. He's saying, I'm going to show up for OTAs, but he still wants that new deal.
All right, so we give Cortland some more money.
I would. Would you?
Yeah, I would. And I don't think I would have said that last year at this time, but I would now. He's got more great years to come. His chemistry with Bo, they get along great. I mean, Cord and Bo were pals during the offseason. You know, Cortland's just a great guy, too. You know, he's such a positive dude. He's earned it. He's a great representative of the Broncos, period. Like, you kind of go down this line, like, if you're not going to give him that money, like, who exactly would you give it to? Somebody who produces on and off the field and has great chemistry with the quarterback. I don't know. What else do you need? Who else are you looking for? Who else could that guy be? You're not going to find just somebody off the street that can do all that. I think what the Broncos, if they were to do anything, they kind of swung and missed on it because I thought you could have gone with a wide receiver in the first round. But I'm not going to fight that battle. You got a really good football player, and that's that. And you go from there.
There's 24 wide receivers making more money than Cortland Sutton right now.
The Altitude Daily. Kreckman and Lindahl.
Andy, how did this happen? How did they get to a place where they could be 9-50? Okay, 9-50. All right, they're 41 games under 500 on June 2nd. 9-50. It blows your mind when you look at the record. It doesn't compute. It's June 2nd and they have 50 losses. How did this happen? All right. This is the biggest explainer that I can come up with, okay? Because it's like I can find a lot of individual reasons why the club is this bad. You know, the regression of Ryan McMahon, let's be honest, the regression of German Marquez and Kyle Freeland and Antonio Senzatella basically being, not even being usable major leaguers. Brenton Doyle having a terrible season. The lack of prospects coming up, all of those things. Okay? This is the biggest thing that I can come up with. The failure of Chris Bryant. They didn't participate in the business of Major League Baseball for like a decade.
And Nick, explain a little bit of what you mean by
Here's
that.
what I mean by this, okay? Like they have
Like they haven't signed free agents. They haven't really.
They open the gates and they let people in.
Sure.
And they take their money for beer and Dippin' Dots, but like they stopped operating as though they were participating in the entire exercise of Major League Baseball. And like the biggest just failures that stare you in the face were letting players' contracts expire and let them walk away for the club, and all you got was a measly supplemental draft pick in return. Like the failures, and we were doing the show the same year, of John Gray and Trevor Story absolutely jump off the page. The extension of Daniel Bard, and it was like thumbing their nose at the rest of baseball of like, well, we didn't move anybody at the deadline. We weren't selling anything, but we extended somebody, which, by the way, you weren't even the only team that extended anybody that year.
Even though that's what you say.
Even though they claim that. But it was just...
You've been listening to the Altitude Daily. Catch us live weekdays on 92.5 FM, the Altitude Sports Radio app, twitch.tv/AltitudeSR, youtube.com/Altitude Sports Radio, and your favorite smart speaker. Say Altitude Sports Radio.